Okay, so we're here for week 4 of 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎. We see pretty much everything that I was expecting. It doesn't make this matchup any easier. Zapdos is a big problem for me. Enamorus is a huge problem, and Kyurem is pretty strong against me as well. It means that I have gone very much standard with my I am Valiant. I am just boost speed. It's fully physical as well. It's not even mixed this week. And last week we picked up a loss, so when the hacks taketh away, you got to force its hand and go for Serene Grace, Poison Jab, Terra Poison to Dunsparce. There is no Oricorio, so potentially the Mirror Herb is going to be useless on you, but at the same time we're able to catch a Rapid Spin. We can get to +1 speed and also +2 special attack with a Nasty Plot. We could also potentially get off, we could catch an Agility, we could catch Dragon Dance. There's a few things that we can potentially work around. I kind of want to lead off with my Treads, get rocks up pretty early. It could be a potential Meowscarada lead. I could also just lead off with like 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎. Nah, I'll stick to the plan. We have some switch-ins to the Galarian Zapdos, and by some I mean like maybe one time switch-in. But if we can get the Terra off with the Dunsparce, we should be in a better spot. And if we get Koyo up with the Dunsparce, then potentially it can just sweep. But good luck, have fun to Zach. First time facing him, make sure to link him. Make sure to check him out, link in the description. That is just going to be the Meow. Okay. We are Chople, so we've got a pretty good chance of just being able to click a button here. I'm not Chople actually, I'm Shucker now. Should probably remember that. So I could... I think I should live 1 low kick, I could be wrong. I will check though, because I don't really feel like losing Treads turn 1. We should always live a low kick unless it's boosting item. I could just go out to Dogi to scout for it. It could be a knockoff as well. Dogi's pretty crucial to not just straight up losing to Kyurem, so if it's low kick, it's low kick. Are you going to be low kick against my team? Honestly, you might well be. But I'll take my rocks. It's just U-turn. Okay, glad I didn't overthink that one. Well, I did, but only for 50 seconds and then decided to still click the button anyway. And if Drill comes in, I will just EQ it. If it's Balloon, I will just Iron Head it. And I won't think too hard about that one. I will click the button fairly quickly. If Kyurem comes in, I just click Iron Head. There's a lot of things that I can just do from this position. The only thing that I can't really stay in on is going to be the Galarian Zapdos. Better Uni, that's going to be a Zapdos. It sure is. Rocks go up though, so I'll take that. And realistically, I don't have a good switch in to this Pokemon. Like, I need to get this Terrad to have a good switch in. So potentially I just go out into... I feel like maybe you take half. We are like max HP though. So there's a chance that we don't. The only concern is going to be if it's like banded. If it's banded with knockoff. But I'll take the risk. Fuck it. Like, this was here mainly for things like Oricorio. It's still nice for Enamorus, but we don't necessarily need health on Enamorus. We just need to scout out the terror on it. But I think Treads looks pretty nice into the rest of this team, so I'm not going to just throw it away. Yeah, there's a CC. Are you banded? That looks banded. You should never stay in here. But do you go Kyurem or... I mean, both switch-ins are weak to Focus Blast, right? And sure, like, coming down to 189, like, I feel like that's 46. Is it Black Belt? I think it's going to be Black Belt then. Interesting. But because you aren't a speed boosting item, like, I think you just switch. And if you stay in and kill me, you stay in and kill me. You got me. But I feel like there's just no reason for you to sack this Mon when it's so good into my team. Yeah. So show me the fighting weakness. Helios, no idea what that is. That's not what I was expecting at all. It tastes rocks though, so that's nice. Is it boost to speed? Not boost to speed. We hit the focus blast. That's pretty nice. Your black sludge. That's not what I was expecting. I mean, there's a few moves you could go for here, but I don't think you ever go for an energy ball or a discharge, that's for sure. So I could just get my SAMUROTT in. I don't need health on SAMUROTT, I just need it to be alive. Surely you don't click Gleam either. Like, there should be a stab move of some description. And though we don't take it necessarily that well, we should at least take it. Is it going to be toxic? Or toxic spikes? Toxic spikes aren't great into my team. It's just a sub. Okay. Well. Do we live one of anything? I feel like we probably do. And I could just get some spikes going here. The most something can do... Energy Ball... does 85 max. So I'm just going to Ceaseless Edge. We'll get some spikes up, break the sub, and see what this wants to do. It could just be sub-toxic. But I assume it's going to have some kind of coverage. Gleam, okay, that's fine. Definitely hurts, but it's still fine. And Ceaseless, even if you're like max defense, this still kills. So I'm pretty happy just to get another layer of spikes up. Because there's no reason for you to really stay in unless you're predicting the miss, which honestly is just a Chad play. If you predict the miss and it happens, I'm not even mad. So yeah, this is dead next time it comes in. Potentially it might live on like 1, but rocks plus spikes is not looking like a fun time for it. Yeah, he's just going to sack it. Okay, so SAMUROTT once again gets a kill with a move that's completely free. Who'd have thought this mon would be broken? And there's not a great deal that you can bring in that immediately causes me to have issues. Like Zapdos, maybe. Zapdos is probably the biggest problem because I still don't actually have a good switch into it. But at the same time, like, the thing is, I don't want to switch Okidogi in and it get Brave Birded on a read. At this point, he can read as well. I'll see how it is. Right, we'll see you again in a second. Okay, so hopefully we can actually play this game now. Hopefully, I'm not banking on it. I think he's just gonna go for the spin. There's no real way of me potentially blocking that. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and continue to edge. And if he doesn't just crit, you know what? Sure. After all of these, I think that's certainly one of the ways for this to have played out. And now everything just takes like 50%, I guess, unless it's boots. So SAMUROTT claims a second one, albeit perhaps a little less deservedly than I would have hoped. And I will keep this around at this point. How useful is Thundy? It gets outsped by 1 mon. I mean, it can revenge this, but I'll just go hard out into Thundy. They can knock me if they want, but this time I will preserve the SAMUROTT. We've got our 3 layers up. There's no way of him removing those. And he U-turns. Okay, so probably into... I'd have to guess the Meowscarada. It could be Kyurem. Could be Scarf Kyurem. I mean, we'll see whether or not it's Boots, right? And if it's not Boots, I'm just not going to let it set up for free. Because I have the Mirror Herb. Are you Boots? You're not Boots. But are you Scarf? I feel like you would only go into this if you're Scarfed. But at the same time... Yeah, it is Scarfed. What have they got left? They got Meowscarada that doesn't take a hit from Vow. Gyarados that shouldn't take a hit from Vow. And then there's one other Pokemon that I don't remember, so I'm going to look at my prep doc and see what it is. remind myself, because that's a DC once again. Okay, since we DC'd so many times on Wi-Fi, we ended up deciding to go on to Showdown, and I'm just going to post-com this bit because we're in a pretty good position, and it's looking like as long as Enamorus dies, then Val can just endgame. However, I did realise that Enamorus was the mon that was alive whilst whilst setting this up, and realised I couldn't go into Val just yet. But if we are able to deal enough damage to the Enamorus, maybe even force a Terra if it's Terra Water, or I think the other one was like Terra Steel. If we can force a Terra, then Val kind of just has a chance to win from here. Outside of that, 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎 looks pretty nice. The Dunsparce can also handle the Enamorus relatively well. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play from here. Instead, that's skip and turn, that's not clash and play at all. So yeah, instead of going out into the I Am Valiant, I went into my 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎 here and just throw off a Gunk Shot. It's incredibly free against what was left on his team. If he stayed in, we take the hit no problem. I didn't Terra because I thought at this point it's probably going to be better for me to Terra my Dunsparce here. As they go for the Brave Bird, I thought that there's a good chance I can take a hit from pretty much anything that comes in afterwards, especially with the Terra Poison. This 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎 will not be able to knock me out with anything other than Triple Axle. And he goes for the Flower Trick anyway, which we resist. And it does do actually a really good amount of damage. Maybe a knockoff would have knocked me out as well, but my hope was that it would go for a Flower Trick there and would be okay. So yeah, we get that Roost off. We are going to throw off Poison Jab, I believe, on this turn. Knock out the Kyurem that really didn't have any room to breathe after those hazards. And in comes the Enamorus, and here I just want to scout for the Terra, so I just go for the Roost. As they actually show that they are Iron Defense. This is a little bit scary, but at the same time, Poison Jab has a 60% chance or whatever to poison. We don't get on the first one, so my brain is immediately thinking, hey, maybe this is going to be Covert Cloak. We go for a second Poison Jab, and again, don't get the poison, so this is definitely Covert Cloak. He's going to go for the Earth Power at 60%, so with the +1, this is a roll to knock us out. I just want to keep this thing low. I assume the last move is going to be Draining Kiss, and it won't be able to recover anything on my Dunsparce, not at +1 special defense at least. So yeah, we can just go out into Treads, and outside of this being a low kick 𝙃𝙄𝙎𝙎, Tread should just be able to see out the rest of the game here. Iron Head was always going to knock that out. It was like a 50%, like did 50% at minimum. Triple Axle comes out, and yeah, this is just never going to be enough damage to take me out. Only gets the 2 hits. It didn't really matter at this point. The third one would have to have crit, and even then I don't think it knocked me out anyway. So yeah, Treads starts and ends the game. And yeah, SAMUROTT getting that crit on the Excadrill that was going to go for the Rapid Spin ended up being huge. And that's a 4-0 win. That's a fantastic one for our differential. We are now, what week are we on? Week 4. So 3-1. We're 3-1 plus 13, I think. So it's looking pretty good. We're in a pretty good spot right now. Looking like playoffs is definitely a possibility. We'd have to throw real hard from here to not make it. And good game to Zach. If you enjoyed the battle, please leave a like, subscribe, and until the next one, have a great day, guys. Peace.